When I think about a river, I think about this water that's floating past us right now. We'll never see that water again. It's a one and done. So the river changes like our lives as it goes through seasons. Water rises like it did 2 weeks ago and floods. It goes in drought, it gets low. You know, it's just something I've been drawn to the water. And I've been blessed because of sobriety and because of places like the Fellowship Home. You know, I get to do what I love. One day at a time, we get to love where we live and love what we do. I'm privileged because I get to be a part of the front seat to recovery. I get to see miracles happen in men's lives. When the lights come on, it's just something I wouldn't trade for any amount of money. We've helped over 2,000 men since 1967 find sobriety. When you multiply that times family members and employers and different parts of the community, we've had a huge impact on our community because of a few men at the Presbyterian Church that got us started. Men might die were it not for the Fellowship Home. Statistically, we've proven over the years with our program that if you stay the minimum 6 months and you stay involved in recovery, your chances of long-term recovery, which is 5 years or more, is 1 in 3, so it's 33%. If you stay with us for 1 year, your chances go all the way up to 70%. If you stay with us through the sober living program in the sober living apartments that we have on Quarrier Street, stay involved for 3 years, actively engaged in our program, your chances go to 80%. You asked me to talk about those 20% that don't make it. It's unfortunate. What we've learned is we don't heal people, God heals people. We tell people what we've done in order to recover. We provide the structure, we hold people accountable. What happens when men start to help other men, that's the magic. When another man tells his story about how he overcame a seemingly impossible problem, and he got out of seemingly impossible trouble, and he overcame and he found redemption, and he found a second chance at the Fellowship Home. When he shares that with another man, that gives that guy hope one more day. When that happens, the miracle just compounds itself. It's like compounding interest. It's a savings plan. I do it because I want to give back, but I do it because it helps me. It helps me feel fulfilled, have a sense of purpose. Things that I used to think that I had to have are really not the things that make me happy. They're byproducts. This boat, the car I have, the home I have is a byproduct of my sobriety. I have to use the gifts that I've been given and be grateful for what I've been given, and I have to give back. And that's how I keep it. I give it back.
I could talk about how grateful I am for the Kanawha Valley Fellowship Home, for recovery, for a 12-step program that saved my life. I could talk for ages about it. My name is Travis Stone. My sobriety date is November 6, 2015, and I graduated from the Kanawha Valley Fellowship Home June of 2017.
How comfortable do you feel with telling your story?
I mean, it's the easiest story to tell. It's mine. All right, well, I'm from Kansas originally, a small Division II college town. There wasn't much to do but party. So that's what I did. My dad worked on the road and my mom's alcoholic, so she wasn't around too much. So I kind of got to do whatever I wanted. And so I did. At 13, I took my first drink at an Ozzy Osbourne concert. And I remember floating across the parking lot. I drank 3 Bud Lights and I smoked a joint. And I thought, I need to be feeling like this all the time. Every chance I got from that point until I got into recovery was me trying to get back to feeling just like that. Many people have talked about not feeling comfortable in your own skin, and I can identify with that. It always seemed like people got the handbook to life and I didn't get one. When I put something in me, it puts me right where I want to be. And so I chase that. People don't drink and use drugs because it's not fun. But I had a little too much fun for a little too long, lost myself somewhere along the way. I started young as a kid, so I never really learned how to live successfully. I never learned how to manage my own life, didn't have any intentions on learning how. Life grows up around you and you're stuck in Groundhog Day, hamster wheel, roller coaster, whatever you want to call it. And I didn't know how to get off. So I was hopeless, homeless. I had a backpack full of clothes, a warrant out for my arrest. To tell you how unmanageable my life was, I had a misdemeanor DUI. All I had to do was pay $1,600 in fines, get a breathalyzer in my vehicle, and have 6 months unsupervised probation. It's a cakewalk for anybody that knows what they're doing. I did not know what I was doing, so I couldn't even do that. And I had a bench warrant out, and I ran on a misdemeanor DUI bench warrant for 4 years, which is ridiculous now that I look back on it. I had gotten picked up and went to jail on that warrant at the end of 2014. While I was in there, I decided I was going to get my life together. The problem is I don't know how to do that. So I made a list of all these things that I was going to get. And it was going to be, I need to put a job application in, I need to save up some money. Once I save up enough money, I can get my own place, find a job I enjoy, maybe get a girlfriend, fall in love eventually, get married, have some kids, get a dog, whatever. I had this whole list of things that if I could accomplish these things, my life would be good. And I got out of jail, and I drank a liter of vodka, and I forgot about the list.
The famous red door. My name is Josh, and I'm a storyteller. Just gonna bum rush a bunch of strangers here. I've been hired by the Fellowship Home to work on a project to tell their story. You guys?
Hey guys, this is Josh. Some of y'all know Josh.
What I'm most excited about with this experience is
What's up, man?
What's up, boss? To feel the impact that this place makes.
You the chef?
I've heard a lot about it.
The master chef?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen some pictures and some videos.
I saw the prime rib that you made.
But there's a big difference between hearing about something, seeing something, and being able to feel it. Chase, Josh, man.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, pleasure, man. Nice to meet you. Who doesn't love a good comeback story, right? I don't claim to know a whole lot about addiction or recovery, but I do know that people are people. And I also know that addiction doesn't care who you are. Doesn't care where you come from, doesn't care how old you are, what race you are. I know that addiction covers all walks of life. And so I'm really excited to get to know these people and to honestly just root for them as they write another chapter in their comeback story.
I was dating a girl. I had been up for about a week. I'm seeing shadow people and you name it, things are not going well. And I go into this probation meeting and she's sitting behind the glass and she said, "Mr. Stone, how are you doing?" That's what she actually said. Now, what I heard, I'm not sure, but I know I said, "I'm not high." And she said, "Excuse me?" And I said, "Well, what'd you say?" And she was like, "Mr. Stone, you need to get your shit together and get out of here." And she didn't put me in jail. When I walked out, I vowed never to go back because I'm good at running. When things get uncomfortable, I leave. So I got a hold of that girl and I said, "We're hitting the road. We're hitchhikers now." So I took my last paycheck and we went to Walmart. We bought 2 survival backpacks. Except the backpacks were so expensive, we didn't have enough money to put anything in them to survive on. To be real candid, the only shelter we had was a little pink tent that children pretend to camp in their bedroom. We got on Facebook yard sale and we got a dog. Because if you hitchhike, you gotta have a road dog, okay? And we name him Lucky, and he's gonna be our lucky road dog. We make it about 6 miles out of town and we set up camp and I go fishing. I actually end up catching fish. I'm too high, I don't eat any of them. We just give them to the dog. He was having a good time at first. This is tornado season in Kansas. So we're in the middle of these woods and like 30, 40, 50 mile an hour winds start coming through these woods. There's trees being knocked down around us. There's sideways hail rain. We are in this tiny little pink tent trying to take shelter. I had gotten this water repellent spray for your shoes, and I thought, if I just spray this on the outside of this pink tent, it'll keep this rain out. It didn't. So we got drenched. This poor dog is sitting in a corner in a puddle thinking I was in a warm house before these crazies picked me up. We reevaluate our lives for a minute, and at 6 o'clock in the morning we go back, and I got a hold of my aunt who lived here. She was willing to help me. She bought me a bus ticket, bought us both bus tickets, and I came to West Virginia.
Working on this project with the Kanawha Valley Fellowship Home has been a real eye-opening experience for me.
It says on our coins, it says, "To thy own self be true." I could tell you one thing and tell this person another thing and tell that person over here one thing, but I got to be true to myself. If I sit there and start lying to myself saying, "Oh, well, maybe you can take that drink now. You're older. You've done seen everything. You've done, been around it." And that's a lie to myself. I got to be true to myself, and I got to be true to others too.
So I moved in.
The fellowship home is basically behind this tan building right there. I remember coming to the fellowship home, and they showed me where my room was, and it was nice.
And I had nothing. I had a garbage bag full of clothes.
And it was clean.
There's some secret sauce there.
It smelled good.
When I was in the house, all the guys shared a common goal.
That's a secret.
Yeah, you had a bed.
And it was staying sober one day at a time.
How the hell did you two know how to make art?
Sheets.
If I had to sum up the Fellowship Home with one word, I think I could do so pretty easily. All I would need, really, is 4 little letters. Hope.
That was quite an experience.
Comforter.
So getting here after a real rough patch in my life and having people around that understood and you could talk to.
I see people who, for whatever reason, may have lost a little bit of hope in their lives. Maybe they never had it.
Pillows.
And you'd fight like cats and dogs like you would in a family in a home, but you learned how to do it.
Running water.
It was the people.
But through their time with the Fellowship Home, they were able to get that twinkle back in their eye.
Heat.
It gave me stability.
There was some accountability there.
I need somebody to say, mop the floor.
Fridge full of food.
Regular meals.
I need somebody to say, get to a meeting every day or so many a week.
Accountability with our chores.
You become invested in those relationships and you don't want to see your buddy mess up.
I need somebody to say, we got to get you out of the house, during the weekdays to be working or, being a productive member of society.
And once the light bulb went off in their mind, they're eager to help others take action and make change in their lives.
It taught me that there was a different way to live my life than what I had been living.
Those are things that maybe, other people don't need that sort of structure, but I do.
It changed my life.
It's all them things that people don't think about that I went without for the longest time.
They cared about me before I'd learned to care about myself.
I almost felt like I was, I wasn't good enough.
And they taught me how to care about myself.
The Kanawha Valley Fellowship Home truly does make a difference in our community.
I moved 850 miles away, and I just brought me with me. So I started doing the same things that I was doing in Kansas. My aunt kicks me out and I'm on a couch again with not a pot to piss in. You know, to be quite frank, life just sucked. I was tired of it. I was desperate. That's what it boils down to. There's a term we use a lot, sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'd gotten a job downtown, and a couple of those guys lived in the fellowship home, and they told me that I should put an application in because they knew I was trying to find some long-term sober living. You know, they taught me how to live again. A 12-step program of recovery coupled with accountable, structured, sober environment gave me life again. Anywhere from scrubbing baseboards to fighting over who's going to do the dishes, creating a brotherhood, guys that were in it for the same common goal was important to me. You know, for years I felt alone in a room full of people. That house taught me how to get off the roller coaster, you know, in a path that really goes somewhere. It absolutely saved my life. They told me I had to be home at 10 o'clock. I didn't have to be at home at 10 o'clock when I was 12. It gave me a structured environment to do the things I needed to do to work on myself internally. You know, I had that list of things that I was gonna use to get my life together when I got out of jail. Today, when I woke up, I have all of it and more. And it had nothing to do with going and putting a job application in. I had to reorganize what was going on inside of me, take a look at myself, be accountable for my actions, and start taking right action. The fellowship home taught me how to do that.
Tell me about life since then.
Well, I am married. Been married for about 5 years. And I have 2 kids. I have a job I really enjoy. I'm a full-time Uber driver, which isn't for everybody, I can assure you, but I'm new on the job. I have no idea how to work the app. It's my cup of tea. You pick somebody up, you drop them off. So I get to be a dad today. I get to be sober-minded, be present, and just try to be a decent human today. I'm halfway through a bachelor's degree. I went back to school. You know, I was never a big fan of school, but I've learned in this program and at the fellowship home that if I just do the next right thing, whatever that is, then I can do just about anything. So I will always be grateful for the Kanawha Valley Fellowship Home.